Have you ever felt like you sabotage your relationships without meaning to? Or as if you crave love and affection within your relationships, but you also push people away at the same time? You might not be fully to blame. We need to also look at your attachment styles because a lot could be discovered just from that. But first, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Vanessa Milagros, and I'm a licensed mental health professional. On this channel, I make videos about different mental health topics, relationships, anxiety, attachment styles, trauma bonding. So if you're interested in topics like those, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment any questions you have down below. So the term attachment styles is derived from a theory within mental health psychology called attachment theory. And I have a full video walking you through the different basic attachment styles in this video right here. So if you want to learn more about that before you watch this, go right ahead. This attachment theory displays that our childhood experiences impact our relationships and how we connect to others in the future as young adults and adults. So things like how you respond emotionally within relationships. And this is because our brains actually learn how safe or cared for or loved we are based on how we were treated as children. So a quick example of this could be a child who cries, and when they cry, they know their parents come and care for them. And so they develop a reliability on those individuals. They see people as reliable, caring. They're going to be there because just as early as a baby or an infant, you learned that when I need something and I make that known, I have people there for me. People are generally reliable. Now, that can change with multiple experiences that you have growing up, but that's just a quick example. So let's actually jump into the 4 different childhood attachment styles. Now, the first one is secure attachment. Now, this is where your caregivers were consistently available in different formats, right? Emotionally, mentally, present physically, right, with you, and you learned that they were reliable as a source. They were supportive, they were nurturing, you knew they cared and loved for you, and they displayed that through their actions and their words as well. And in this, you've learned how to trust, how to have healthy boundaries, how to regulate your emotions, and you have a sense of security and safety within your caregivers. So there are certain traits within adulthood that show you that you've had a secure attachment growing up within childhood. So some of those include being comfortable with emotional intimacy, being able to express your needs or your thoughts without fear, having trust within your relationships, and having stable relationships within your friendships, your romantic relationships, right? Let's move on to number 2, anxious attachment style. So within childhood, some of the experiences may include having emotionally close, but then emotionally distant relationships with your caregivers. So as a child, you recognize and can understand that love and care, they're not predictable. And you may need to fight for the attention of your caregivers. Now, this doesn't mean physically fighting, right? This could mean fighting for their attention through your accolades and your achievements or your successes. So maybe some perfectionism is coming up for you. Maybe this is the complete opposite, and acting out or getting into trouble was how you receive that love, care, and affection. Now, some of the traits within adulthood within this attachment style include different things. So the fear of abandonment is definitely there. So you may need constant reassurance of you're not leaving, right? You're going to be in this friendship or this relationship. And you may not ask that outright, but you may display that through your actions, through your behavior. So for instance, if your partner says, hey, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to reach back out to you until now, I was doing this, and that. And during that time that they didn't reach back out, you started thinking and maybe catastrophizing within your thinking, right? Of, oh my gosh, they're tired of me. They don't love me anymore. I'm annoying to them. They're going to leave just like everybody else. That's one example of how this can show up in relationships and friendships too. Next, avoidant attachment styles. So within this attachment style in childhood include caregivers who were emotionally unavailable, whether it's because they didn't know how to be or they just chose not to be, or both. Your caregivers might have been dismissive of your achievements or even just your thoughts or your daily interactions with them. Maybe they were discouraging, not uplifting, not supportive, and maybe they completely disregarded you, especially when you were trying to be vulnerable, whether that's we're being emotionally vulnerable or being vulnerable in general, because as we are growing up, there are things that we need our caregiver's assistance in. So sometimes that could be discouraged by your caregiver. So, no, we don't cry, right? That's a big example that I see a lot. So the child learns that depending on others is not safe. They cannot be trusted. Maybe they develop the over independence of only I can trust myself. Yeah, people will be there, but they won't actually care, or they'll be gone soon. And so I can only rely on me. So as an adult, you can see how this can lead to a struggle for a lot of adults to practice emotional closeness, or being fearful of getting too deep into relationships, whether that's friendships or romantic relationships, because even though that may be something I want, that's not ever a line that I'm going to cross, because my inner deepest knowing, whether it's subconsciously or not, is I only got me. And so I can't get too close to you emotionally because I don't know how to do that. I was always rejected when I was trying to do that growing up. And that's a territory that has too much pain and hurt. So I can't go there. So they value their independence so much so that they push anyone away who gets too close. See, they may be great when it's surface level within the relationships. Anytime it gets deeper than surface level, they may struggle with this. And 4, disorganized attachment style. Now, in childhood, this definitely includes experiencing trauma, neglect, abuse, and your caregivers might have been a source of love and attention at some points, but probably was for their own personal gain, while also being a source of fear for you. And if it sounds confusing, imagine experiencing it. That's even more confusing, because these individuals who are supposed to be the people that I look up to, the people that are supposed to be my caregivers, you're a place of comfort for me in some unhealthy manners, but also I fear you as well and what you may do, or you may not be here, or life is so unpredictable that I don't know and I don't have that safety nest to just feel relaxed as a child or even get to be a child. And this leads to emotional confusion for the individual experiencing this in childhood. So some of the traits that they may have as an adult is that push and pull. So they want love and affection and safetyness, but they fear the closeness of it. And so it gets confusing for their partners and their friends equally so, because you want to have a deeper relationship with me, you want to get closer to me, and they display those behaviors. But then as soon as it starts to happen, they shut down, they go away, they don't know how to communicate. They get angry, maybe. They may even have high levels of anxiety. Of course, high levels of mistrust, not being able to trust other people, and emotional instability. So the push and pull goes hand in hand with the emotional discord. Now, as I am walking you through this, I'm sure there are points that you're making in your mind of like, oh, I relate to that a little bit more. Maybe I relate to this more, or I really don't relate to this attachment style. But everybody is different. And this isn't a way to box you. It's a way to help you understand where you find similarities within your experiences. And then remembering that just because you've developed a certain attachment style based on your childhood does not mean that you cannot change from maybe a disorganized attachment style to a more secure attachment style. But you're not boxed in, and you don't have to remain within the same attachment style. You can change. This is the great news. So let me give you a few tips on how you can start to work on this. Of course, number 1 is going to be therapy. You have to understand what your attachment style has been based on your experiences in the past, and also your traits in adulthood. So being honest about those things you can work with a therapist on. Next is recognizing, becoming more aware of your patterns. And even if you're not ready for therapy yet, the easiest way to do this is to ask yourself those questions, but also ask someone that you trust, or maybe 2 people that you trust, someone who you have a healthy relationship with, who knows how to gently call you out, who can give you constructive feedback and just say, hey, listen, this is something that I'm learning about. Do you see me more as an avoidant attached person, or do you see me more as maybe an anxious attached person? And if they don't know, share this video with them. Google really quickly the different attachment styles with examples of each, and walk through it with them. They have attachment style quizzes online. They have so many resources online. You can't go wrong. However, the goal would be to ask your trusted friend or support system, hey, what do you see from me? Because you know me. And I may see some things, but I may not be as aware of other traits that you may see. And once you understand that, then you can practice self-awareness of, okay, I see the way in which I display these attachment style traits, and I want to change this. I want to become more secure. So I'm going to then, step 3, work on healing my past wounds. And this step may take a lifelong journey of continuous healing and periods of working on yourself, and then other periods of not working on yourself, taking a break, because I think it is important that throughout our healing journey, there are times that we stop working on it, give ourselves a break, because it can be mentally, emotionally, and physically taxing to go through therapy and to work on yourself. It can. Breaks are okay. If you didn't know, breaks are okay. Once you continue to work on that throughout your life, you start to be intentional about the changes that you're making. And your close connections, your relationships, your romantic relationships, they're going to notice, especially if they're healthy, right? If you have healthy dynamics. If you find that through this journey, you're like, oh my gosh, I have really unhealthy relationship dynamics, that's going to come out too. And then you have decisions to make on, okay, what is going to benefit me the most within my journey where I am now? Do I have to let some people go? Do I have to not let them go, but create more boundaries between our relationships, right? You have to figure that out for yourself. And lastly, is going to be to have more secure individuals around you. Those who have more secure attachment styles, if you surround yourself with more of those, you're going to see how they operate so different from what you may operate as and what you're used to, right? So individuals with a secure attachment within adulthood have healthy boundaries within relationships, and they respect yours. They have trust within their relationships, and they also trust you. It's a healthy give and take and respect and love. And there is where you build trust in safetyness and in healthy dynamics. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. Let me know any comments you have down below, any video suggestions. I'm open to that too. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with somebody else who you may think will find it helpful. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.